Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck. And today we have a super sweet deck. As you know, Tuesdays is Type 2, or Standard Tuesdays, and today's deck is really cool. So, Standard has kind of become more or less about 5 decks, 10 decks, but there's still some really spicy stuff happening a bit below the surface, like today's deck, Red-White Control from Mikukami Mikahashi, who recently took it to an undefeated finish in a Japanese tournament. So congrats to Mikahashi on their finish with the deck. A quick reminder before we break it all down, if you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So usually in Standard, when you think of Control, you think of blue cards, maybe black cards. Well, this deck doesn't have any of them. This is a straight up red-white Control deck, and it's kind of built around some really powerful 4-mana planeswalkers. So not only do we have 4 copies of Nahiri the Harbinger, which is a great way to filter through our deck, exile some stuff, and eventually win the game with the ultimate. We also have 3 Chandras, which can kill some stuff, make some mana, also a good way to kill a creature, and has a very undefeatable ultimate if you get to it. Gets there fairly quickly, not quite as quick as Nahiri. So if you can kind of take control of the game with your other stuff and ultimate these planeswalkers, both of them are very good at closing out the game quickly. So these are kind of the key cards. The deck also has some creatures, and it is a motley crew. So you get 1 Emrakul the Promise End, which technically can be castable. It's not really a ramp deck, so it's not that easy to cast. I guess you can plus Chandra for the mana to do it, but it's more there to search up with the Nahiri ultimate. Then we have Combustible Gearhulk, which is a weird Punisher card. We actually played it on Budget Magic this week to some amount of success. It is better than it looks. It is huge. Sometimes it just deals a ton of damage to the opponent's phase. If you mill your Emrakul and a Bedlam Reveler, that's a crazy amount of damage. You're looking at a lethal amount of damage with just those 2 cards. So it can suddenly just kill the opponent. And the body's just pretty big and hard to deal with. First Strike makes it miserable in combat. Bedlam Reveler in Goblin Dark Dweller take advantage of the fact that the deck is very spell heavy. So there's lots of things to make the Bedlam Reveler cheaper, and if you're casting it for 2, 3, 4 mana, it's a super powerful effect, a way to improve your hand, get rid of some random leftover stuff, and get a good body out of it. And Goblin Dark Dweller is a good win condition because you can throw a burn spell at your opponent's face, play the Dark Dweller, a reasonable menacing body, flashback the burn spell, do some more damage. So there's the creatures. As far as the spells, Tormenting Voice is a pretty key one. Helps you filter through your deck, get rid of the stuff that you don't really want, fuels your Bedlam Reveler, gives you stuff to flashback with Goblin Dark Dweller. Then there's a bunch of burn style removal. So a couple Incendiary Flows, a couple Collective Defiance, and 3 Fiery Temper. Works well with Nahiri, works well with the Tormenting Voice, things that you can discard, use the Madness cost. Also just a fine answer to something like Smuggler's Copter, even at full price. Now we have some weird removal. A Sky Whaler's Shot gets rid of a big creature, gives you a scry. Blessed Alliance gains you a bit of life, can kill 1 single attacker, so it's really great if an opponent's comboing off with Electrostatic Pummeler or something like that. And then a couple of Fragmentize is main deck Artifact Hate, and then a Quarantine Field or 2 to help against Planeswalkers and non-creatures, although it can hit creatures too, and a Stasis Snare, good answer to Emrakuls and stuff like that. As far as the mana base, Drownyard Temple kind of gives the deck ramp in a weird way. If you discard it to Tormenting Voice on turn 2, on turn 3 you pay 3, get it back, you're basically up a land. All the red-white duels, Needle Spires, a creature land, Inspiring Vantage, Stone Quarry, then some basic lands. As far as the sideboard, a bunch of different removals. So the rest of the Incendiary Flows, a Flame Lash to take down Kalitas and other things with 4 toughness. Another Quarantine Field for Planeswalker matchups. Tears of Valakut is great against flyers out of blue-white midrange like Avacyn. Then we have some Wraths. In Descend Upon the Sinful, the deck gets Delirium pretty easily, more easily than you would think of a red-white deck. So not only do you exile everything, but you're likely going to get the Angel as well, Fumigate, and a Cataclysmic Gearhulk. And then we have just some random stuff. Linvala, good against aggro, gives you some life. Spawning Bed, not sure what the idea is. It's a land that gets to the graveyard for Delirium. I guess it ramps you into Emrakul, makes some chump blockers. And then a couple of Structural Distortion. Can deal not only with artifacts, which is the main purpose, but can also hit a Shambling Vet or another annoying creature land. A lot of the deck's removal is sorcery speed, so I could imagine it struggling with certain creature lands, so it's a good answer to those. And that is red-white control for Kaladesh Standard, and that's been our Instant Deck Tech for today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.